Begin with some breaking news that we have at the top of 11 on the broadcast. Now, following the passage of the Waqf Amendment Bill, Vijay's party, the TVK, has begun protest against the Waqf Bill. So, these protests are emanating out of Tamil Nadu. Remember, the DMK, the main political party which is forming government in Tamil Nadu, is already protesting. There was a black badge protest that had happened by the members and MPs of the DMK earlier on when the Lok Sabha passed the Waqf Amendment Bill. And now we are learning that Vijay's party, TVK, has also joined in. Now they have begun their protest against the amendments that have now been announced in the Waqf Bill. Both the houses of the parliament, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, have passed the bill, and TVK, Vijay's party, members and workers are also protesting against the amendment bill. Let me, bring in my colleague Purnima. She has, in fact, put out this ground report from the protest venue where Vijay's party, TVK workers are in attendance. Let's take a look.
Vijay's Tamil Nadu is staging protests and demonstrations across Tamil Nadu against Waqf Bill. They want the government to repeal the Waqf Bill, which was passed both in the Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. In Tinagar, here in Chennai, cadre of TVK now staging protests demanding the repeal of Waqf Amendment Bill. They say that this is going to hurt the Muslims, and this is against the interest of the Muslim community. While this is also, interestingly, Vijay's first protest in the run-up to the 2026 State Assembly polls. You can see here hundreds of cadre gathering at the Tinagar place to stage protests against Waqf Bill. Interestingly, all parties in Tamil Nadu except for the BJP have opposed Waqf Bill. They say that this is going to hurt the Muslims both economically as well as emotionally, and that's why they've condemned this particular move. So clearly here in Chennai and in other districts, TVK staging protests, and all parties except for the BJP are in unison that the Waqf Bill should be withdrawn, and now that it's passed in both the Lok Sabha as well as the Rajya Sabha, they want this to be repealed because they say that this is going to hurt the Muslims. And here in Tinagar also protests growing louder, and opposition protests growing louder in Tamil Nadu against Waqf Bill. And political analysts say this to woo the minority communities, except for the BJP. All the parties, whether it's the DMK or the main opposition ADMK, will continue to oppose this, keeping in view the minority vote bank. With camera person Saravnan, this is Purnima Murli for CNN News 18.
And my colleague Purnima is now with us on the broadcast. Purnima, what is happening when it is about the stance that Vijay's party TVK really is taking? Because earlier there were a lot of feelers, especially after DMK was standing against what they called delimitation and how it will go ahead and reduce the seats of Tamil Nadu in the Lok Sabha. And Vijay's party sort of was not, and there was too much of conjecture whether or not Vijay is siding with the DMK or, for that matter, the AIADMK and the BJP, the opposition in the state. What is happening now? Suddenly these protests against the Waqf Amendment Bill, what was the tone and tenor when the bill was being discussed in both the houses of the parliament?
Well, even as it was being discussed in the Rajya Sabha, Vijay had issued a statement saying that his party does not want Waqf Bill to be implemented because it's going against the interests of the Muslims, and he said that it is undemocratic and therefore it should not be passed. This while there were discussions happening in the Rajya Sabha yesterday, and an hour later, TVK, Tamil Nadu announced that they are going to stage demonstrations across the state. In Chennai itself, 4 to 5 places where you can see protests by TVK cadre today. However, they've been detained because they've not been given permission. But Vijay, interestingly, the first speech that he made, first political speech, he said that his ideological enemy is the BJP and political enemy is the DMK. So even in the recently held General Council meeting, TVK made it clear that they are in for a fair delimitation, which means that the current number of seats in the Lok Sabha, that should continue forever, that there should be no change in the number of Lok Sabha seats. Apart from that, in terms of language policy, they also said that they will continue to push for only two-language formula, and they will go against NEP. And yet again, as far as this Waqf Bill is considered, except for the BJP, every party, including BJP's allies, the PMK, have all come out in support of the resolution that was passed in the Tamil Nadu Assembly seeking withdrawal of the Waqf Bill. So, except for the BJP, every other party is keeping in mind the minority vote bank. A larger chunk of the vote bank here is from the minority community, and therefore every party except for the BJP has come out in support of the resolution. TVK is no different in that case.
Absolutely.
And here, as we speak, they are detailing.
The last hour. Anything can happen between the bells. But what happens during the last hour is what matters the most. The biggest market swings. A close-up look at what's driving them and how the investors are reacting. Watch the most seasoned market mavens guide you through the most important hour of the trading day. NSE Closing Bell. At these times, only on CNBC TV 18 and CNBCTV18.com.
For more news and updates, all you need to do is follow CNBC TV 18 on all of our digital platforms.